What's going on, James? What's up? What's up? What's going on? So, you know, I'm having I think I'm having a pretty lax day. I've already called up a few people and sent out a few texts to some on that of, on the Happy Mother's Day. I have a lot to be thankful for, and I have a lot that I can appreciate. Okay. And yeah. I know I got some guys who, well, no, I don't ever hear you say anything about Daddy's Day or Father's Day. And I'm like, listen, if you're not there for those streams, I don't know what to tell you. But shut up and get off my stream. I am Today is Mother's Day, and I am thankful for all the women that have stood in the line of cultivating me and other young adolescents and other adults around them. I can't speak for everybody, you know, but I've seen a lot of good in women. I've seen a lot of good. I've seen a lot of build. I've seen a lot of things happen and done for young men and young women, for mothers who did not have but found a way. And so I cannot spit or look down at that. I can't. I won't. And I won't be ashamed of that. I think it's pretty sad that it's in a time or event where as to people, um, there's this narrative against motherhood. There's a narrative against that of the beauty of having a mother or building alongside with a woman. There's a big narrative. There's a certain type of pedigree of insanity going on where they have certain directives are being put out there to extinguish that of the beauty of having a woman that is willing to build with you, that's willing to build with you and share her life. It's one of the most amazing things to see. It's one of the most amazing things to see when you see a woman, um, when a woman like literally takes her life and brings forth a child. I can't put no words on it. I got to watch something that I put into the universe that was allowed to exist in a woman's body. And I know I hear a lot of people say, well, I feel like this and that a man should. I'm like, no, man. Like, that's a woman's fight. That's 120% a woman's fight. You even have it where some men say, no, we should both have say. That's the one thing that women just started getting control of was their body. Especially I know I can black women. If y'all look up that of how their rights for child having children and the bad procedures. See, I understand that this is not the ideal stream to talk about because it puts against a narrative of what people are saying is a woman, how beautiful motherhood can be and should be, and how eventful and fruitful it can be for that of a man's life. And yeah, you have all these things or nuances of stuff put out there. Well, women are doing this and women are doing that. And yeah, I won't. I don't have enough time to push that or fight all of that. I don't. I've seen plenty of women that when they knew that mother or that woman that does not have or is not in her proper text of what she should be doing as a woman, usually other mothers start stepping in. They usually start stepping in. You know, I've seen it. I have a cousin named SMA, and she literally is that type of woman that if your child is hungry or needs feeding, or probably needs some type of place to rest their head, she'll do it. She don't have to do it, but it's just her nature. This is why I don't take for granted the context of when I hear there are women out there that are not the mothers of a child and that they will fill in the gap. Have any of y'all ever had a mother that was like that treated y'all like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure. Happy Mother's Day. My mom got dementia. She had a good life, good mother, good women. Bless her for giving life to me. And I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that, James. I can appreciate that. I can. Because I've seen sons who have taken their mom and gone paid it forward. I've seen men that they ain't have no place to stay, but they know that hey, I'm just gonna stick it out with my mom. And their mom talking about stuff that happened back when, and the boy is like, no, mom, that already happened. My grandma, she has a form of dementia also, and she still thinks she still thinks my sometimes she thinks that my first son, she thinks that he's still going to kindergarten. So no, he's big now. He's big. And to treat her, I will make shrimp fried okra. I make shrimp fried okra for her because I want to treat her and give her that same love that she gave me. That's what I want to do, and that's what I choose to do. And you can never tell another man just how far to go to love his mother, his grandma, his auntie. You can never tell a man how how far he should go. That's why that's why I appreciate there's a lot of men that will sacrifice for their mother or that woman in their lives. It happened, bro. It happens. And I can respect that. I can respect that from one man to another man. Me and my mom are not always on the same page. However, that is my mother. That is the woman that bore life into me. And I know we hear a lot of stories of women that did things. I hear a lot of them. I hear them all the time. But I will say this: I've known more women that have sacrificed for a child rather than take from the mouths of children. I've known more women that have sacrificed blood, sweat, and tears. You know, I've been there and I've watched that. And I've asked that question. I've asked that question, you know, time and time again. I mean, when I was young, my daddy wasn't always there. I was raised like that also. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. My mama taught me, learn your manners, son. If you learn your manners, it'll carry you. Your manners will carry you where money can't take you. My mama was right. Manners will carry you where money can't take you. She was right about that. I am very thankful. I am very thankful for her for teaching me that. She would say, Joe, listen, a hard head make a soft behind. And I'll be like, well, I'm like, come on, mommy. She said, no, I raised you better than that. And she's right. She's right. A hard head did make a soft behind. I have gotten in trouble plenty of times. I've done a lot. I know I have. Times that I know I was a lot of hardship. Me and my brothers and my sister. My mama dealt with four children. She dealt with four children. And in dealing with four children, there was time where she wanted to quit. There was times where she wanted to stop. I've seen times where she'd gone in a room and cried. She wasn't always a perfect, but she definitely tried. I've watched women stay up late at night with their children. late at night with their children and help them study. I know there's a narrative that women don't care about their kids' education. That's not true. I don't believe that. But I've seen more women at the PTA meetings supporting their children. They're not saying that it's not men, but there are far more women there. A lot of women that stay up and help their kids with their school project, take their money that they supposed to use for gas and put it into that of the child's education, school outfits, a lot of stuff. I remember I was dating this one girl. She asked me, she was like, Joe, I'll pay you back. I'll pay you back. Just, can I just borrow some money just to help out my kid? And I know a lot of people say, well, where's the father? Sometimes you get tired of begging and asking for other support. You just say, I just have to just, me and mom will figure it out. At some point, it's going to be about the child. It's going to be about the child. And I've seen what it's like to watch that of somebody you love go without. Where we are today, in our success, you know, I watched a lot of women in my family sacrifice and give their all. And I ain't asking for a perfect Mother Mary, but the thoughtfulness of somebody willing to give their all for the betterment of their child is a noble cause. It's a very noble cause. And you'll have it where some people say these people are simps, they're lame. You'll have it where some women will tell a man, that, but hey, why you love your mama so much? Why? Because that woman gave me life. What are you talking about? I love all the women in my life, even the ones who didn't biologically give birth to me. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for them. I want you to understand. I am thankful. There we go. But I don't understand the reciprocal. Many of my friends grew up without dads. You know the thing about it. The thing about that, and this is a real flash of reality. Okay, this is a real flash of reality. You know what I'm saying? I get there's a narrative. Hey, that yes, there is a lot of fathers that are not in the home. But we've known. I'm sorry, man. I've known more mothers that just took it. That just said, "Hey, we just gotta just suck it up." Dad is either gone, dad is either dead, or they broke up, and stuff happens. You don't know the full detail because you're a child. You don't. You don't. So a lot of men and women did not always have their daddy in the house. Did not. And I know that, that can go back and forth. Oh well, it's because of women, this and that. And there are various agendas. There are. I'm gonna tell you right now. I listen. It is a battle. Take it for somebody as me who is in the home, who's fighting the fight. It is a conflictual battle, and I've been through it, man. I've really gone through it, man. But one thing I will say that I've watched, I've watched and seen the women in my life sacrifice. I've seen aunties sacrifice. I've seen a lot of women sacrifice. What's going on, Matt Bone? Thank you. I appreciate to see that. Let me read that for the brother. I appreciate my mama for showing me what true femininity is and telling me about which women have exude and exude that were sending me to my uncle. And see, that's a thing about it. That's a thing about it, brother. Before there was this space, I've known plenty of women. See, I know plenty of mamas that had told their sons, "Let me see that girl before you do anything." Because your mama, your sister, different women, they were going to look out for your best interests. That's why I'm curious when they talk always about this sisterhood. Because all women they always unify and join together. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. I could tell you right now, my mom will call out some BS. My sister definitely will call some BS. Who are you? They want to know what plan do you have to do with B.M.T. with our boy, with our man, the man in this house. But see, we don't praise and talk about them. You want to know the game and the strings that a lot of women can play with. Go ask. If you're really vibing with the women in your family, they'll tell you. They will tell you. They're not gonna sit there and let you get badgered up, banged up, beat up. Shout out to BK. Thank you, brother. And I've had women like that. I've had plenty of women like that have told me things. I didn't feel like they were emasculating me. I didn't feel like they were talking down on me. I didn't feel like they were treating me like no kickball. No. But I also saw their endurance to take a beating from life. Thank you for that one. When I was growing up, the sisterhood looked out for the brotherhood. They also put other women in check as well. Yeah, they're gonna always look out for. They're always gonna make sure that, hey, like, chill out. Like, that's not what we do. When it came to going to church or doing other vices of stuff, I've seen the mothers tell the young girl, hey, hold on, come on, baby, you got to put on something better than that. Men used to tell their women, hey, you can't wear that. You going around the women in my family. You know what I'm saying? You going around the women in my family. You can't be wearing that. We got to have some respect. You're not going to wear that around my grandma. No, sir. No, sir. You will not be wearing that around my grandma. You ain't about to set me up. You way out of pocket. I'll tell you right now, boy. My grandma didn't play that. My grandma did not play that. My mom and my aunts, they carry the same spirit. You can look nice, but you ain't gotta look slack. You ain't gotta look slack. Brothers, I know you want something fine, but you also gotta understand that, listen, the woman that you want might not always be the mother that you need. You want that woman, but you might not need that type of woman. That was something told me by my grandma. Samson wanted Delilah, but Samson didn't heed the words of the women in his tribe. So Samson paid the ultimate price. Now, I'm not on here to have this jubilee conversation and all that stuff, or, listen, there are some women that do the most. There are some mothers, yes, I've seen other women get at them about, hey, come on, girl, you can't be wearing that at the school function. Well, it looked cute. Yes, it's cute. But we had a school function. Come on now. And I gotta be honest, man. You don't really be seeing women wear those crazy outfits. I gotta keep it a buck. No, I can understand that. I can understand that. Thank you for that, BK. And he said, and I understand that. One of my older sisters told me, do not depend on a woman for a place to stay. Because she wanted you to stand up as a man. If that's not your mate, if that's not your viable mate, what I mean by mate, like, y'all are both locked in together. Y'all are lock, hip, and step. Y'all putting down. Like, this is why women, daughters should bring their mate, or women should bring. You don't have to just be a daughter, but this is why you bring certain people around your family or around your tight knit group. I've had girls that I was talking to at the corner store, and shout out to the mothers in my life. They'd be like, no, I know you like her. She's cute, but she's not the one. She's not the one. She was just talking to another man just a day ago in the store, hugged up on him. Are you sure? She said that. No, mm-mm. Leave her alone because they don't want. Because they were protecting my honor. They were protecting my sanity. Like I said, I can't. Like there's this kind of ideology going around that women or mothers just hate men. There's some type of force going around saying that the mothers just hate their children, just despise that. When that's that, and mind you, I've seen the way opposite. Mothers don't love their children. What are you talking, dude? I don't know what kind of women y'all always deal with, but the women I know, they will die for their kids. They'll fight their own men, knowing that's a lose situation for that child. When daddy feels like, oh man, I can't do it. Joe, that's your child. We gonna have to do it. And I've been there. I'm not gonna listen, bro. I'm not gonna stunt or fake the funk. I've been there. Time where I did not know and I could not see the light. Their mama had to see that. No, no, Joe. That's your boy. We have to stand by them. We have to stand by her. I've seen it, man. I've seen it so much. And it put a new fire in my belly. I don't got no, listen, bro. I ain't trying to paint, oh, B.M.T. You listen, bro. A lot of fathers do not know how to deal with their children in certain situations. But a mother's love will cover that. Yeah, you get those women that's my baby, this and that. Yeah, you get that. You get that. You know what I'm saying? You will get that. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen it. I've seen some very horrible practices. The colorism practice. I've seen that of if the child has some type of angst or they talk or act a certain type of way, or if they seem like they're a convenience. I've seen that. But I've also seen that mother or that woman that's willing to fight for her child because of who they are, how they look, how they sound, how they were born, because of their preferences, because of their journey. Everybody sees that child as a failure. That mama still sees something in that child. A lot, and that's funny that I hear the angst, and I agree with you on that. Like I hear, it's funny. I hear a lot of people say that mothers don't love their children, but then I also hear the conversation that, man, when you go to that house, you gotta deal with that boy who don't want to listen to you, but nothing but his mama. Hold on now. But if you got the mama saying, listen, this is a house for me and my child, she's just being a mother hen. She's going to protect the nest. Most of the single mothers that I have met love their children, especially their sons, very much. One of them asked me to mentor her son. I was happily obliged. I've had that happen. I've had women ask me to teach their son. Hey, Henry, go with B.M.T. Go with him. What? You sure? Yeah, go with him, mom. But I don't know how to do it. It's okay. It's okay. You'll figure it out. It's all right. You're gonna learn. You just got to keep going out there. My mom has had plenty of times. She threw me out there with the rest of the pack. I'm like, Mama, why you got me out here with these dudes? They don't even like me. You go out there to work. You ain't gonna be liked. That's just how my mama was. That's just how my mama was. I watched my mama raise four children. Yes, Nicole, I agree. I know many women that love their children. I know many women that had gotten their ass beat for their children, that have been called names for the sake of their children. I've seen many mothers. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but I've seen a lot of mothers stand in that courthouse or stand in front of that principal or in front of some authoritarian for their child. Now, y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but mama will go to bat for you. A lot of our mamas have gotten their ass kicked for us, praying that a man is going to do right and love us, her children. I know. After a while, we got to the point where we even told my mama, "We don't need mom. We don't. You don't need nobody." I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. I was one of those boys that said, "Mama, you don't need no man in this house. We got you. Your sons got you. They don't even want to help us." And this ain't no anti-man. It's just that we understood the assignment. If anybody was going to save us, it was going to be us. If anybody's going to be strong, independent, we learn by watching that woman cry and get in that car and load her kids up in that Buick, and we made it. Now we all successful. I've seen and listened to the conversations while I fake sleep. What my mama was saying to her daughter. My mama was giving her sons one lesson about how to honor and respect the woman that gives their children life or in their life. But she was also giving her daughter another lesson about, listen, baby, don't go down my path. I made some mistakes. And that's not easy always for a woman to admit. I made some bad choices. You don't have to go down that road. Yes, that did happen. It did happen. This is when we sit down with y'all. We got to sit. Y'all got to listen, man. The conversation of carrying a child, that's a very serious conversation, man. I've sat there. I've sat there and listened to a doctor tell she might not make it. I've done seen the delivery room was clean, and in less than 15 minutes, it was covered in blood. And the thing that she said, she's like, Joe, she said, before we go in there, if it come between me and this life in my child in my stomach, I love you, but I'm ready to go. She said, just take care of our children. I said, what? But I knew that was her mindset. That was her mindset. She said, I'm about to go in there and I'm about to fight for our lives. And all I could do was pray and watch her get chopped up on that table. I tied something around her arm, tied something around her arm to remind her of home. We didn't have much, but she knew that she was like, I'm going to get all of us home. And she fought, and she fought, and she fought. And she brought in all our children. First question she asked was, are my babies okay? Are my babies okay? Don't check on me. Joe, don't check on me. Check on my baby. Check on my. You gotta understand, I watched someone bleeding out and everybody staring at her. The first thing she said is, check on my baby. Don't worry about me. Just check on my child. That's the compassion and love of a woman. That even in the face of death, they will choose that child above them. They will choose that child. But see, those type of stories are not told. They're not. When you see a woman say, "What? When I had that child, my back, it took some damage." Yes, Nicole, that definitely happened. I remember telling my mom that she doesn't need that man's help. I told her I would help. It was way too crazy to stay. I used to save every penny I found and work for help. No, it was like that for us too. It was like that for us too. We've had men that came by that knew about my mom's situation because, and mind you, my mom was trying to find a viable mate to build a family with. And then we would sit down and have conversations. And after a while, time to go, buddy. Time to go. We you got to get off the island. And I know some people gonna feel a certain type of way about that, but in a lot of those situations, it was the latchkey kids and the mama versus the world. Not saying that daddy did not was not always there, but there's a lot of children, a lot of children go through it. A lot of mamas go through it. You know, I know mothers who gone straight back to work. I know mothers who gone straight back to work after having a baby. You should be home. You should be home. Listen, I ain't got no time to rest. I want to spend time with my baby, but we had to make money. Come on, Joe. I need these hours. Come on, please. I need these hours for my baby. I haven't gotten my WIC vouchers yet. There's always this conversation that, that welfare is ever so abundant. Food stamps is ever so abundant. Housing is ever so abundant. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's bullshit. I'm gonna tell you right now, it is. I've known women that slept in the car with their kids because no family would take them. And I know there's a lot of judgmental fingers from men and women. Well, they shoulda, they shoulda, they shoulda, they shoulda, they shoulda. You don't know their situation, dog. We don't know the intricacies of what was going on there. There's a lot. I ain't gonna lie, man. I've done seen some pretty disgusting judgment said about young girls who have kids. I've seen some stuff about, like, I remember when I was overseas, right? I'm just sharing this little story. I'm sharing this little story. Melissa, Melissa had just given birth to my child. Now, she moved down to Florida with a child by herself. I was overseas. And when that had happened, a situation that passed where she got into it with, because we were giving her aunt money while she was staying there looking for an apartment, because it's not easy just finding an apartment. Like, you try to find a not you see when you have a child, you're trying to find a healthy environment for to raise a child. I know some people say, well, y'all just go get a place. The military, we weren't trying to live on the base. We were trying to find a healthy environment partner. And we didn't want our kids, we didn't want our first child on base. We were doing a lot of stuff for ourselves. We were doing a lot of stuff for ourselves. So, yeah, definitely was a thing. And when I started to undertake and go down, they got into an argument. And they told her, you gotta get out. In one argument, newborn baby mother, she was told to get out. And I had begged the military. I said, listen, let me go back. I gotta get to my family. I was told no. And I felt like a piece of shit, but I had argued with her and said, well, what did you do? She was like, Joe, what can I do? Like, I just had a baby. I just told him certain stuff I did not like around done around me as a kid. And sure enough, you know, she said there's a high end, CNA job. Florida, listen, You got regular CNA jobs at the nurseries, then you have a high end CNA job. But to get that job, you have to pass a certain amount of tests, backgrounds, and then you got to go. Then because mind you, she was doing that for the she was trying to get in with the VA, and she was trying to get her own contracts. But she was like, Joe, if you give me, I think it was like $2,000. She budgeted it all out. It actually was $2,800. If you give me that money, I'm gonna make it work. Just 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 believe me. And though I had people come to me and tell me that she's cheating, she's doing this, she's doing that, she's fucked up, and all X, Y, and Z, I just looked at her and I sent the money. Sent the money. But I remember all the time that my mom would ask my father and plead with him, James, if you just give me that money, I'll make it work. I don't know why that clicked in my head. I said, all right. And I went to finance and I sent them I sent them $3,000. And she loaded up the car. She went, got a hotel. She paid for a week at a hotel, and that was fine. Then she had a side hustle that she was doing. She was a nanny at another spot. And she would help out this one woman um, with her kids while raising our child. And she would be studying at the hotel and while she was working. And within a certain span of time, she got it. Within a certain span of time, she got it. She got the job. She got the money. She started getting her money up. I don't know how many men have faith in their child's mother. I don't know how many men who have faith in their wives, in their their kid's mother, and the women in their life. I don't know how many men who have that kind of faith. I know there's been some trust broken. I know there's been some people hurt. I know there've been some people who felt like, yo, like this person failed me. And you have to find a way to make it work. You have to. Don't be the hindrance for the next generation. And oh yes, we've had our times. We've had our days. But one thing that we understand is that our children need. They need food, shelter, love. They need commitment. And upon them principles that I've seen her femininity and motherly care, she put our children first. When I hear people talk about who eats first, she will easily say the children. If you were to ask any woman in my family who eats first, they're going to say the children. You a man. Wait. We're going to feed you. They love the men, but the children are the next generation of why we do what we do. Even the men will, if an elderly person were to get a plate of food, that child would have come up to them and plop on their lap or come around them and stare at them. Hmm, hmm, hmm. You rip off that piece of chicken and you put that chicken in that child's mouth until the mother can get to them. I've seen plenty of prayer women, prayer warriors, spiritual women. Two women going in the back of that church, going back of that mosque or whatever establishment and feed everybody. And I mean, I've seen them feed the multitude. There must have been a black woman there when Jesus was feeding the multitude, because when you hear the amount of numbers that he fed, oh yeah, there had to be a woman there. There had to be a cafeteria woman or some type of black woman. That's why I listen. That's why I understand. Most cafeteria people are mothers or women. Yeah, you'll get some younger people. You'll get some younger people. But the majority of them are mothers. Like they are. They are. I don't agree with this new system of and I was there for free lunch. I was there for free lunch. Shout out to the free lunch. You know, I was there for all of that. Hmm. And I could tell you right now that yeah, um we made sure that the kids eat. We made sure that the kids ate. We made sure that the kids were taken care of. I've seen plenty of women make sure that their babies had school clothes on. That's why that's why I don't get that. Like when I hear all this, these the clothes are here and there. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. But I don't think we praise enough of the good that is done by a lot of the women in society, a lot of the mothers in society, a lot of the women that adopted children and keep them close by. And you'll have that. You'll have that. I've had some amazing women that have stepped in. I know, like I said, I know this ain't the chat or this ain't the cool conversation, but shoot, it's my conversation. And I know this is something that definitely needed to happen. That's all I want to say. Well, I'll see you guys later. I'm B.M.T. Peace.